There are some flames that shine so bright when they first appear, but only to burn out early, tragically. Here are 10 MLB players who never lived up to their potential. With a changeup, a curveball, and a mid-90s mile-per-hour fastball, Mark Prior had it all in the early 2000s. Prior was drafted by the Chicago Cubs in 2001 and made his major league debut in 2002. Though young, he was quick to show that he should be feared as a pitcher in the game, earning an All-Star nod in 2003 and finishing third in the National League Cy Young Award voting that same year. However, Prior's career started to unravel due to a string of injuries. He suffered a compression fracture in his pitching elbow during the 2005 season and then dealt with a series of arm problems over the next few years. Despite undergoing multiple surgeries and rehab stints, Prior was never able to regain his previous form. He attempted a comeback in 2010 with the Texas Rangers, but he never made it past the minor leagues. Ultimately, Prior retired in 2013 without ever fully realizing the potential he showed early in his career. But coaching seems to be doing it for him now, as he has won a championship with the Dodgers as their pitching coach. But not very many people have had this kind of luck. Certainly not Delmon Young. Delmon Young was the first overall pick in the 2003 MLB draft by the Tampa Bay Rays and made his debut in 2006. He showed promise early on, coming out second in the American League Rookie of the Year award in 2007. Then he won the ALCS MVP in 2012. However, Young's career was marred by several incidents that put him in the spotlight for the wrong reasons. In 2012, he was charged with aggravated harassment for hitting two people outside a hotel. He was also arrested in 2016 on assault charges after allegedly choking a hotel valet. Coupled with these controversies, he started to decline on the field, was bounced around several teams, and was eventually out of the game in 2015. This next player hasn't retired yet, but has failed to play up to expectations since he allowed us a brief thirst of his greatness. Cody Bellinger went from grass to grace and then back again. Drafted by the Dodgers as the number 124th overall pick in the fourth round of the 2013 MLB draft, not much was expected of Bellinger early on, but he improved his game and won the National League Rookie of the Year in 2017. That same year, he hit for the circle and was called to his first All-Star. In 2019, he got another call, won the Silver Slugger and Gold Glove awards, and in 2020, he became an MLB champion with the Dodgers. He was in the limelight now, sharing the stage with the likes of Mike Trout and Yelich. But before the end of 2020, the first tragedy struck when he dislocated his shoulder. And since that time, Bellinger has failed to play up to par or expectation. But the case of Cody Bellinger is even better. Compared to Mark Appel's, was also in the 2013 draft. Mark Appel has been the number one overall pick in Bellinger's draft class. Appel was projected to be a superstar pitcher, was supposed to be the guy that the team builds around. But you wouldn't believe what happened to this dude eventually. He struggled in the minor leagues, and guess what? He failed to make it to the major leagues altogether. It was so bad that he quit the game at 26 years old, and even though he later returned in 2018, he could only play a few minutes for the Phillies before they released him in March 2023. He's now considered as one of the greatest busts in MLB history, along with Wade Townsend, who we're checking out next. Wade Townsend was once considered one of the top prospects in the game. He was drafted 8th overall by the Tampa Bay Rays in 2005, had a lot of hype surrounding him, but he wasn't overrated one bit. He deserved every praise he got because he had a great college career. In 2003, he led the Western Athletic Conference strikeouts with 164. He earned the Outstanding Pro Prospect Award and had led his team to second place in the College World Series the previous year. Nevertheless, he never made it to the major leagues as he struggled to find his footing in the minor leagues. Next, we have a player who traveled continents as a star, only to fall short of his potential. Yusei Kikuchi is a Japanese professional baseball player who made his way to the United States to play for the Seattle Mariners in 2019. Coming to the U.S., he was a 3-time NPB All-Star, and in 2017, he was a Pacific Winds leader, Pacific League ERA leader, and Mitsui Golden Glove Award winner. He was a hot prospect with a killer fastball and wicked slider that had fans and scouts alike drooling over his potential. He had negotiations with the Red Sox, Dodgers, Yankees, Indians, Mets, and Mariners, but ended up with the Mariners in 2019. Maybe he could have shaken the baseball world before the arrival of Shohei Ohtani, but unfortunately, things didn't quite go as planned for Kikuchi in his first couple of seasons in the MLB. He struggled with consistency and command of the mound, leading to some pretty rough outings and less than stellar stats. But you know what they say, tough times don't last, but tough people do. And Kikuchi is definitely tough. He's been working hard to be better, and he did get a lot better. He made the 2021 All-Star roster and recorded his first MLB save in 2022 after signing with the Blue Jays. Maybe he eventually becomes a star before he retires, or maybe not. Nevertheless, he obviously hasn't lived up to the potential the league drooled over, and he probably never will again. Next on the list is Brian Bullington. Brian Bullington was named Mr. Baseball in 1999 by the state of Indiana. He also went 15-0 on his way to win the Indiana High School Athletic Association Baseball State Finals. In college, he was the MAC Freshman of the Year. A year later in 2001, he won the regular season title with his team after going 21-5. Sounds like the start of a great career, right? Well, not exactly. He was drafted as the number 1 overall pick in the 2002 MLB draft by the Pittsburgh Pirates. Bullington made his major league debut in 2005, and let's just say it didn't go as planned. He struggled terribly, had shoulder problems, and was bounced around in the MLB before ending up in the Nippon League in Japan. It was in the NPB he got his only All-Star honor, which came in 2011, 4 years before his eventual retirement in 2015. And then there's Brian Taylor. There's no list covering MLB greatest bust that you won't find Brian Taylor in. Taylor was the first overall pick in the 1991 MLB draft by the New York Yankees. He was expected to become a dominant pitcher, but his career was derailed by a shoulder injury he had in 1993. An injury he didn't get on the pitch or during training, but in a fight as he tried to defend his brother. He'd end up missing the entire 1994 season, and even after he returned in 1995, he was never the same again. But that's not all. Taylor ended up never playing in the major leagues. You think Taylor was a bust? You should meet Matt Bush. Matt Bush was another first overall pick, was worthy of all the hype he got prior to the 2004 Major League Draft. As a shortstop for the Mission Bay High School, his .450 batting average, along with 11 home runs and 35 RBIs, quickly shot him to stardom in California, and then to the list of top prospects in America. And when 2004 draft came around, the San Diego Padres snatched him up with a first overall pick. But before Bush would even make his professional debut, he was suspended for taking part in a fight outside a bar. This would be the genesis of what would be a very disturbing, controversial career for Bush. How many players do you know with a Wikipedia entry that has a spot for criminality and incarceration? Well, we know one, and it's Matt Bush. Bush has been charged with assault multiple times, which kept him away from the game a number of times. He beat up a high school lacrosse player with a golf club, and after he assaulted a woman, the Blue Jays released him. Then, playing with the Tampa Bay Rays, he ran over the head of a 72-year-old motorcyclist while drunk driving. These are just some of the things Bush has done to ruin his chances of ever becoming a great baseball player. However, after his incarceration, he came back to the game through the Texas Rangers, signing him in 2015. Then in 2022, the Milwaukee Brewers got his signature for a 1-year deal worth $1.85 million. And finally on the list, Danny Goodwin was so good they drafted him twice. And in those 2 drafts, he was the number overall pick. This is something he has never been done before or since. You can't get any better than that, can you now? Goodwin, unlike most MLB busts, got to play in the MLB but he was a bust nonetheless. Throughout his stay in the MLB from 1975 to 1982, he only had 81 RBIs, 13 home runs, and a batting average of .231. Can't get any worse than that, so we'll call it a day here. If you enjoyed this video about 10 players who never lived up to their potential, check out the video on the screen now, or the one we posted below, because we're sure you'll like that one too. See you there.